Hello and welcome to That Gaming Show, episode 8, where we talk all the biggest news in video games this week. Not even stuffing around this time. Already got the Crows gear out, already got the beanie on. I'm, of course, Jackson Ryan. She is Milky Pixel, and further to her right, he is Mr. Bo Yu Shay. Now, obviously, the big news this week is that Trent Cotchin got off at the MRP. Oh, no, we're talking about games here. All right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Usually I'd just be talking straight about the footy, but that's okay. We're actually going to start with something that is sort of related to grand finals. It's about trophies.
We thought we'd jump on the bandwagon and incorporate it somehow.
Yeah, I've really jumped on the bandwagon after 28 years of support. So the first thing that we're talking about is Platinum Hunters. Do you want to explain it, Bo? Or would you
Do I want to explain it?
It's up
Well,
to you.
I was going to explain that we're jumping on the trophies bandwagon, not jumping on the Adelaide Crows support bandwagon.
Sure.
So yes, we understand you've been a lifelong supporter. So it's a new campaign that PlayStation have put out this week, and they're looking to find Australia's most hardcore gamer. They've got a number of challenges across 3 different games.
And they will have a fourth, I believe.
They will have a fourth, yeah. So FIFA, Call of Duty, and Gran Turismo are the 3 that they've announced. So essentially, they're trying to find Australia's most hardcore gamer, the most talented, multi-talented...
All-rounder.
All-rounder, that's the word I was looking for,
Okay.
Milky Pixel.
So what I understand is that you've got to basically they're going to give you a real life trophy that looks like the Platinum Trophy,
This big?
which you wouldn't be familiar with because you're more of an Xbox, right?
Achievement Hunter.
So they're going to give this Platinum Trophy out that looks exactly like the Platinum Trophy. You have to get a Platinum in the game. So FIFA 18, you go and get the Platinum in the FIFA game, and then you post the screenshot to, I believe, and tag them in this Twitter or Facebook. It's
Social it
basically the biggest marketing ploy for achievement hunters.
Look, I hope
Platinum Hunters.
I hope the
Trophy
agency
hunters,
that's
trophy
running this for
hunters.
them has lots of man hours, because when we were at IGN, we would try and run competitions like this to find Australia's most hardcore gamer and post your results. Oh my God, it is going to be such a nightmare trying to track all these things. I wish them all the best success, but having tried to do these in the past, yes, you have my greatest sympathies, those who are going to have to police this.
Because unless you go, okay, it just has to be one social platform, you have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as your mains.
Yep.
Well, the kids are all on Snapchat, aren't they? So
Actually, no, there was a big... If you look at the analytics, there was a big jump after Snapchat released the whole, you can tag yourself in location and actually see where people are. For people in our sphere, in our industry, no bueno. Like, could you imagine some rabid fan going, "Oh, you're here now. Let me just stalk you a little bit."
Well, I don't have any stalkers, so
Okay.
but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, so after that whole kerfuffle, they could have worded it better. You can turn it off, but it was defaulted as on. So a lot of people went, we're jumping on Instagram stories now.
All right, I want to get off.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but yeah.
And bring you back to Platinum Hunters.
All the socials,
Yeah.
as Bo said, it's going to be a kerfuffle to track.
It's going to be interesting, yeah.
Well, that's not what bothers me at all about this. Well,
What bothers
It's not
you?
that it bothers me. It's just this. Oh, hi guys.
Tell us, Jackson.
Tell us, Jackson.
It's just that it's such it's such an obvious campaign.
Ploy.
And it's an obvious ploy to drama marketing. Now, that's okay. There are people that like platinum trophies.
Yeah.
I have nothing against people that go achievement hunting.
I
really.
100% my game.
That's what you're about. Yeah. So, but it's not. It's just one of those gimmicky things that's like straight away you go, that's not made of platinum, first of all, which takes away the whole point of it being a platinum trophy.
Well, if there's one thing you should know about gamers in the gaming industry is they are supremely cynical, and if it's not, it's not platinum, it just won't cut it.
Yeah.
Well, we touched on this several weeks ago, one week that I was actually here,
Oh.
about the whole we want advertising and marketing that's geared towards us to be genuine.
Yeah.
If it's too much of a gimmick and it feels like, we're just going to do this thing to see our analytics on social media, who will participate in everything, then it's just like, why bother? Okay, what's the incentive for us?
Yeah, that's right. And like even the campaign, which is just a short video, I truly look at it and I'm like, it's just these close-up screens of the trophy itself and some guy like clearing his shelf of other trophies.
Yeah. Well,
Where are they got? What I want to know
well,
from an advertising point of
yeah.
view, what are they trying to achieve?
Well, that is a great question because that is what I was going to ask you. 'Cause I'm not sure.
Okay.
So, no, like you're saying, it's very obvious. It's like, oh, we have a trophy here. All right, our campaign is to give you a physical trophy to find Australia's best gamer. Now, I think gamers are obviously competitive by nature because games are competitive and you are competing against, goals and quests and other people in multiplayer and that kind of thing. So, gamers are inherently competitive, which is fine. So tapping into that's fine. And the questions I have around this are, if you're appealing to real hardcore gamers, will they be interested in a physical trophy that they can place on their shelf? I think that, as I said before, gamers are highly cynical, so I don't think that's a draw card for them. They do like to show everyone that they're great at games and they're better than others.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
What are the other incentives? Just the physical, that's
Right.
it?
But then again, if you look at that,
rights.
what are actually the incentives of collecting the achievements online?
Oh, because you get 100% on your profile and it shows you.
that's what I mean,
I have like
but why-
9-10 games 100%ed, including.
But what does that mean to you in your life? Like, do you know what really means something to me in my life?
Crowing?
These guys mean something to me.
But you're not actually out on the field with them.
Well,
Whereas with
maybe it's
Oblivion, Oblivion Elder Scrolls, including the DLC Shivering Isles or South Park: The Stick of Truth, I 100%ed that game just in time for the Fractured Butthole to come out. So it's on my profile. I did that. 3 whole playthroughs and a whole lot of mistakes. I did that. Whereas if you're just watching your team, they're the ones working their muscles and using
I can
that
sort of see it.
endurance.
Like if I think back to when I used to
the
play
journey.
games as on the PS1 and systems that you needed a memory card.
Good old days.
Like if I lost that memory card, and it's happened,
I would be crying.
I was devastated. And it's not like I take the memory card to Parliament House and be like, by the way, guys, I've finished Final Fantasy VII. I never did that. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I need this as this shows that I put all this time into this thing that I like.
It looks nice. Seeing that 100%
I guess.
in Banjo-Kazooie, even if they never did the stop and swap that came into fruition for Banjo-Tooie, just having that crystal key and the extra eggs in addition to all my music notes and all my Jinjos and all my honeycombs and everything. It was just...
So I don't reckon you'd be much of a collector.
I am in my heart, but I want to be able to complete games, but I just don't get around to doing it. So I'm a completionist at heart, but just don't have the time commitment.
Like, don't get me wrong, I have more games that are not 100% than games that are 100%.
And so the thing with this though is it feels just it's a bit mixed up. So it's like you're trying to appeal to gamers because you want them to these completionists who are going to do this. But then
you pick FIFA 18.
Well, and that was going to be my second point. Is like it's 3 games that they're not the same audiences. So FIFA fans aren't necessarily going to play COD, aren't necessarily going to play Gran Turismo. So even just thinking myself, it's like not that I'd achieve platinum status in FIFA, but that game I would play. COD, I haven't played in a really long time. Might be enticed back. Gran Turismo, I have zero interest in racing games at all. So,
but then what that says to me is that they're appealing. If they're appealing to the hardcore market, why put in a sort of marketing strategy like this? Is it just to appease those guys and be like, hey, we still think of you guys, we're still looking after you?
But I don't think this does do that. That's
what I mean.
Saying.
So
I think it's that's what I'm saying. It's a bit off because it's like, all right, well, yes, we're trying to find Australia's best game, but we put in these 3 really disparate games that you're not going to. If you're finding the best COD player and the best FIFA player, okay, great. You've got 3 trophies, understand. But finding someone that covers those 3 isn't going to be Australia's best game. That's more of a mainstream audience play. Yeah. So if that's the case, then make the reward something that caters to that mainstream audience.
Because I feel like not everyone is going to be Stallion83, and if you don't know who that is, that's was or currently is the top achievement hunter in the world, according to TrueAchievements.com. Get on it.
So I'm stallion number 1.
Fun fact, he actually dropped down during his honeymoon because someone overtook him, and then he's either tried to get it back or has already gotten it back. Regardless, the reason I mention him is because unless you're someone like him who, you know, is kind of like a career achievement hunter, you're not going to be playing games you don't like.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
for me, it's like, okay, I smashed 100% Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but Black Flag, those legendary ships were too hard for me. I
you're not
admit
doing
that.
that.
I'm not good to
So
getting
you're
those
saying
achievements.
That, it's really
With
just appealing.
this-
So FIFA is FIFA.
Yeah.
FIFA players are going to play FIFA and they're going to go for the achievement.
Yeah.
Or do you reckon this is trying to bring in players to those games? So
How
that's
many
what I don't get.
all-rounders
Doesn't make any sense.
are-
Those
yeah.
games are
Well,
huge.
then put a new game in.
Yeah,
put in
that's right.
something that, you know, not
I
Call of Duty,
agree.
which is edition 15 or whatever up to.
I could get...
But like, how many all-rounders are going like?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just like, okay.
I could get angry at this all day, but why should I? I'm happy. The Crows are in the grand final. Why would I bother thinking about that? Which means that now we're talking about Steam. I forget they changed the sides. So Steam. We all know what
Yes.
Steam is. You guys might not know what Steam is. Steam is a platform where you buy video games online, basically. It's an online marketplace for video games on your PC. One thing that Steam hasn't done ever is sell video games in Australian dollars. So this is a big thing. This is a big thing because what they're going to do is they're going to start selling games in Australian dollars, and we saw back in February they were going to start adding GST to games. So already we pay way too much for our video games in Australia compared to other parts of the world, especially digital stuff, because obviously when you're paying for a digital game, there's no cost
There's no packaging,
associated
there's
with
no shipping.
That's right. There's
yeah.
no cost associated with that. So for a long time, the argument's been that we sort of get ripped off on Steam. We get the Australia tax.
Sort of. We
Okay,
do
so-
get ripped off.
Sorry. I'll tell you what we get ripped off about. Grand final tickets. That's what we get ripped off about. Anyway, so Steam will sell the games in Australian dollars. So I would guess I just want to get sort of your feelings, first of all, on selling in Australian dollars. Will that be a positive move? Will we see better pricing, do you think? It's developer set, so developers can actually set it from the back
developers.
end.
So that was a detail I wasn't aware of. I actually thought that the change to AED would be a bad thing. I thought it would
Just
be
straight conversion?
I thought that it wouldn't be a straight conversion. That they would be allowed to set their own prices, and then they'll be able to hide the prices between territories better. So I was very wary of this. Like if developers are setting it, I still think that'll happen.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that, the story broke that it was an Australian developer that actually saw it in the back end for Steam.
Okay.
And basically they were selling $29.99 USD and then $34.95 AUD. So I think the savings, this is work done by Alex on Kotaku, savings of about $4, I believe.
Well, anyway, that was my biggest concern with it, was that it would allow them to hide the Australia tax even more so. So
Unless you actively did the calculation yourself, kind of thing.
but even still, like, I mean, what can you do about it, right? Like, so, but yeah, you're right. So yeah, that was my biggest concern with that. Yeah, like, is it a positive thing? Like, yeah, like, I mean, how much do you pay for a conversion from US dollars to Australian dollars on your credit card? Like, it's not that much.
It depends on the fluctuation at the
Yeah,
time.
right.
So sometimes it could be a benefit and sometimes it could be a detriment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I guess if the developer's setting it, then their onus comes to them to keep it relatively consistent with a conversion rate that's fair. Or do they just say, like, it's like, I guess, the game's conversion US to Australian physical copies? Do they just go with that sort of
The
thinking?
RRP and
Yeah. Do you think they
99.
should do that? Or do you think they should be saying of something based on a conversion rate?
Well, I think in this day and age, it should be something based on a conversion rate.
Straight conversion, though?
Yeah, at the time of at the time of purchase.
Okay.
And that's why I never had a problem with Steam being in US dollars. Like you say,
And it tells you. It tells you the current
and-
conversion rate.
Yeah.
yeah,
You see.
so yeah, I've never had an
It's
issue with it.
transparent enough already, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
about
and yeah,
Steam,
so
which it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's a positive move. I think because Steam, not everyone's best friend. So I think they'll find a way to kind of mask the price increases.
Do you think that we should be paying GST on a digital product?
There
Like,
are
is
so
digital
many
good?
things that I think we shouldn't be paying GST on as a woman. Like,
True.
just,
Okay.
but
Before
no,
I
but
jump
like,
in there, it's like, no, you are correct.
Well,
well,
oh, yep.
sure.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
it's a digital like where's the brick and mortar store that has to pay the rent and for the shipping and yada yada yada, insert appropriate things here.
We should get it
It's
cheaper
a
because our
digital
internet
product.
sucks.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, your
But-
internet sucks, you
But it
get
is still a
discount.
good. At the end of the day, it's still a good. And though it might be digital, that is sort of the terrain that we're operating in now. We're coming into
I
that
100% think we should have
space.
GST on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Not the GST 100%.
If you
GST
want,
still 10%.
come on, Malcolm, I'll fix your budget.
Well,
deficit.
they're already doing that. The one thing I just think by what we used to have was a system where USD was USD. That was the price that the games went for, and people still kicked up a stink, conversion rates, whatever. But now we have a system where there is some potential for developers to make their own pricing, and it can be a pricing structure that's different. And I think specifically for a developer that is in Australia, for instance, it actually works out differently. Should the developer try to recoup their costs, or should a developer just be selling a product that they made at a certain price? What dictates that a developer puts something at $10 or that they put something at $30? What dictates that?
Is it the love, sweat, and tears or the actual quality of the game?
That's right. And is it the length of time that you spend with that game? What is actually dictating video game pricing besides development costs?
Well,
if anything.
marketing, distribution.
Yeah, so what they're trying to do is recoup plus make a profit, right?
Yeah, of course.
So anyone should be doing that. So should people that live in Australia then and develop in Australia, are they going to have higher costs because of cost of living or anything like that as well? Is that something they have to consider with this kind of change?
Well, look. At the end of the day, they're making a product. They have the right to make a profit from it. Like, I have no issue with that whatsoever. What I take issue with is the Australia tax. And I listened to a talk recently by one of the senior partners at Accenture, which is a big consulting firm, and he specialised in media and marketing. And he was like, the Australia tax is complete bullshit. Like, there's absolutely no reason in the 21st century, in 2017, for Australians to be paying more for anything, let alone something that you can access and download digitally. Paying for it, not like the pirates, paying for your content.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason for the Australia tax in general, but specifically for downloads, absolutely no way.
Okay. I'm super interested in the way that a developer would recoup their costs from, especially like indie developers, because Steam is such a platform for less backed, I guess, or just less financially stable companies and people that develop from their bedroom. So if those guys say, "Oh, I'm charging $15 a game,"
look,
how is fairness taken into account? That's what I'm asking.
At the end of the day, the market will dictate what your price should be. Like, pricing is a very complex issue on everything, every goods and service. Like, whether you should charge $3,
like grand final tickets.
Grand final tickets, like.
And the audience, if they don't like it, they'll either put up with it or just not buy.
And then, supply and demand. There's only one grand final.
Yeah.
And,
It's a seller's market, let me tell you.
So pricing is a really difficult concept in general across the board in everything. Like, we can't generalize here.
Yeah.
Games companies definitely have the right to make a profit. They absolutely should. Developers need to work out what's best for them. And in recouping their costs, making it worth their while to make more games. We want to see more games from them. We want to see the industry grow and supported 100%. Going back to the original question, buying them in AUD on Steam, I don't think Steam's, the best friend of the industry, and there's been issues, I know what you're saying. There's been issues with Steam in the past, with not wanting to issue refunds in Australia and going to that, I think it was ACCC, with issues around that previously. I don't think it's going to make. I think, if anything, it's going to make it worse for Australian consumers.
Just a quick comment from our Facebook feed, of course. I'm with the Tigers. I don't know what the word "with" means, but that's irrelevant to this conversation. Here, this is from Bruce Dawson, I think. Here, Bo, when companies have to satisfy the demands of shareholders, the goal will always be to maximise the price. Milky, what is that guy trying to say?
He's trying to say that the people who invest in the little indie developer, if they're not reaping a product, reaping a profit, they're going to be like, hey, we invested in you. We want, our return on investment.
Yeah.
And then that's going to put the pressure.
At the end of the day, capitalism sucks. And that's why I'm not talking anymore about this. Now, I'm talking about Cowboys. We were talking about Cowboys, that's right. Cowboys because
Why?
2 days from now, I think there's an open training session at the MCG. But there's also a Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement. Red Dead Redemption 2, guys, Red Dead Redemption 2, which is probably one of the most anticipated titles of next year. It comes out next year, of course, in the spring. This is Rockstar's first game. I cannot believe this. Rockstar's first game since GTA 5, which came out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is unbelievable to me.
Long incubation period.
So that's all we have to say about that. There'll be no, there is an announcement coming Thursday, but what I wanted to talk about today was that GTA 5 often gets sort of ribbed in social media and the media about this is when Rockstar discovered microtransactions. And that's why we haven't seen a game from Rockstar for that long. So
Because
money.
they were consistently releasing a game a year prior to that.
Yeah. And not always the same series, of course. So alternating series. There's obviously a lot more to it than that, and there's probably a lot more at Rockstar.
But you can buy an entire, big boat, ocean
So what can
liner
you buy
thingy.
in GTA 5, and why? How are they making money, Milky?
Different. I don't actually play it, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Type it in the comments. Yell at
hang
me,
on,
all caps.
hang on.
Different cars. You can actually buy in-game shark card money, right? Because remember at EB
sure.
when
Yeah,
we used
you
to.
can.
Yep. And stuff for heists. You can buy a big boat. I'm not even kidding. It's
big?
a big one.
Like an
there's
in-game boat.
Yeah, there's a hot tub and you can go from the docks and stuff.
And it costs real world money.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where... So do a lot of people have these boats?
No, but I know Jeff from Achievement Hunter in Austin, Texas does.
Bloody Jeff. He's
all over
probably
it.
got 2 tickets to Grand Final.
Taking his boat there.
Rockstar
Takes everyone.
microtransactions, is that something that you... So let's go back to before GTA 5 was released.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you have gone, this is sort of what I suspect will happen in a Rockstar game? Do you think
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
It was very interesting that they haven't released a game in 4 years or whatever it's been.
Now. It will be 4 years when at least by next year.
But if there's one thing that you can say about Rockstar is they dance to the beat of their own drum. They do not give a shit what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
that's been fantastic for them in terms of allowing them to develop the IP they want to develop, running it the way they want to run it. They'll stick to their own timelines. They don't give a shit what you think. If they want to put it out 6 months, a year later, that's when they'll do it.
People were making their own heists, for the longest time.
Yeah, that's right.
Putting their own adventures in
I think what they
custom stuff,
actually
and
did,
then they
and we're looking at it from a very, I think, 2D sort of perspective. We're just kind of they're making money. So, but they cultivated a community instead of around the game, as opposed to putting it out and just putting out a few DLCs and stuff. They actually said we're going to make the multiplayer massive.
Yeah.
And it's a massive free roam world as well. Basically, all the highlight sort of packages you see on YouTube that do really well.
People mugging each other.
They're GTA 5 highlight packages. So the community that's popped up around it and the sort of content creation that's popped up around it really has propped up the community even further.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of silly to look at.
I think it's great that they're still supporting it, because the amount of times that you find a game that you really like, you're really immersed in the world and you're enjoying it and you're getting a lot of value from it. And then developer pulls the plug and shuts down servers or whatever. Okay, it's making money.
Crowdhounds.
Is anyone complaining about if you don't want to spend money in there, don't spend money in there. But they're continuing to support it, which is fantastic. It's a great game. It's a great world. People get to keep enjoying it.
And just on the communities, we had a comment come in from Rian Blunden, I believe. GTA 5, there's also opportunities for brands to integrate into the game.
Right.
So, i.e. gay pride campaign. So what he's actually saying is that they had a gay pride march in-game to promote equality, and that was an international thing, not just Australia.
And it's fantastic, right? And when you're cultivating that rich world, when you've got that rich world and you're cultivating those communities, it does open opportunities like that. So, it's great that they're still supporting it. But, you know, like back to the Red Dead announcement that's coming in the next couple of days, you know, GTA 5 made $1 billion in its first weekend.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, they've obviously done the numbers and been like, all right, you know, we were talking about Red Dead Redemption years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we were expecting it, you know, years ago. So
The sequel, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, the sequel, yeah. So, you know, they've gotten to it now and they're like, all right, we're going to roll it out. So, another $1 billion coming Rockstar's way, but God damn it, we'll all play it.
I have a feeling that it will be a lot more than $1 billion. I feel like that if there's records to be broken,
This one
bye-bye.
will do it, yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah.
So
I want
they're
some of
also
that
entertaining-
money.
Well, they're also entertaining rolling it out on PC as well, which is something that GTA never did. So
you can get-
or the original.
yeah,
Red
yeah,
Dead.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
wow.
Do you think this game will have a massive multiplayer component based on history with GTA 5?
Possibly.
Well, of
Maybe
course,
they-
like they've got a great model with GTA. Like,
But it's such a
different
different game. It's such a different
Like
world.
there's still beasts of like franchises in their own right. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
even though GTA is already up to like the 5th and Red Dead is only up to the 2nd, but I mean, yeah, the same audience umbrella of Rockstar gamers, but two different audiences in the sense of GTA 5 is set in the present.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption is we're cowboys.
Yeah, and Red Dead
Like-
Red Dead Redemption multiplayer integration was fine.
Yeah. There wasn't necessarily anything wrong with
Not
it.
That it was just early, I think, for what Rockstar's vision probably ended up being in GTA 5. But to not include it would be
A detriment to
if they
them.
can, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, multiplayer is one of those things. Like you pay money to developers and producers and all those sorts of people to make
And they
games.
can make the thingy.
There's still a chance. I mean, based on even just the poster artwork, there's still a chance the game actually can be played in co-op. There's still a chance that you know what I mean. There's too many variables
Yeah.
still. Though I
Mm.
mean, if you look at the trailer behind us, the vision itself is fantastic. So you can see why it's
Wow.
probably taken so long. But my major concern with not with Rockstar's quality, but with something like multiplayer, is that then you probably don't see a GTA 6 for X amount of years.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're playing GTA Online like and enjoying it,
It's
like,
still the same, I guess.
You know, like you're
not.
still getting it. It'll keep going till it hits its tipping point, and then you know when enough people drop off. Because giving you an indication, as of the 17th of September, Grand Theft Auto 5 was the 3rd highest selling game in Australia that week. So it's consistently ranking in the
Still.
top 5 in
Yeah.
terms of game sales.
Yeah,
You know,
we were-
how many years on from purchase? They've shipped over 80 million units as of May this year. You know,
So much
No,
money.
in this country.
no, globally.
Oh, I was going to say, there's only 24 million people. Every single person has 4 copies.
You don't? I've got 8, so that's why.
No, I do have 2 copies. I don't
right.
know why.
Yeah.
I
But-
only open one.
Yeah, but just look at that data. Like, you know, there's the support's there, so keep pushing with what works.
Johnny
Yeah.
Rose is actually here. He said that he believes Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick, if that's his name, Strauss, I apologize, has indicated they will look to adopt a similar multiplayer online environment with Red Dead to GTA 5. That will be super interesting, I reckon. Like, if it's a free roam world,
Yeah.
that's incredible. And if you're allowed to obviously do co-op sort of missions and stuff like that, that'd be really cool. I think you limit yourself variety-wise because you're in the old West, of course. GTA sort of started, even one of those big stories from the year was that they had the alien sort of egg
Yeah.
that was hidden in the code and stuff. That was
Yeah.
like a big thing. And you'll see that in this as well, I'm sure. But and there was a zombies expansion for Red Dead. So I guess
Hey.
they're playing, it's their own bloody sandbox, isn't it? They can do whatever they
Please
want.
have a Westworld
Angle.
in some way, shape, or form, please, Rockstar.
If there isn't already a developer trying to.
We don't know that Sir Anthony Hopkins isn't already voicing a character, guys. So, don't count your chickens
I
before they
miss that
hatch,
show.
just to stay in the farm theme. Why are Rockstar Games such events, Milky? Why are Rockstar Games in particular such events? They're as big event as the AFL Grand Final 2017.
Well, I mean, prior to GTA 5, they did a game every year, but GTA 5 is so successful. Red Dead Redemption, the first one, was so successful. And it's like, oh, okay, what's next? Oh, you're not making a game this year. And it's like, you sit on your hands and you're like, come on, we're used to developers making a Call of Duty every year. And then after Syndicate, it's like, with Ubisoft. They were like, oh, okay, we're not going to make an Assassin's Creed every year
Good.
anymore. We're going to incubate, for longer.
Good riddance.
And then,
Origins looks good.
oh, I can't wait. And it's
I'll
just,
sing it tomorrow.
but it's just like, okay, you tease. I mean, when this like Red Dead Redemption, like just a red, like
Yeah,
picture,
box.
red box with the
Red
with
logo.
the with the red logo. People lost their shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, because that's what we want, that titillization and that anticipation and excitement. If you give us something every year, we're going to get complacent and we're going to get bored.
So you think that the time frame between them has sort of contributed to this more?
Yeah,
of
because
this-
we're waiting. What next? Like hurry
yeah.
up. We're like us with our lack of food today. We're getting ravenous.
Yeah.
And it's like
tell
we
we're
want
getting more
the food.
as the shoot goes
Want
on.
my nuggets,
Bo,
McNuggets.
did you have any feelings on why Rockstar Games is such an event? Why, like, is it just sustained excellence over a period of time?
I think it's that is the main part of it. I think them making sure that their games are rock solid. Ba-boom, boom. They attention to detail. Investment in the product. Series of, like you said, a standard of excellence that they've upheld for a really long time. I think it's also that they stick to the company mantra. They're like, we'll release this game when we goddamn want to.
Yeah.
We will
When
put
it's
out
damn well ready.
when we want to
Damn
do it
well
is
ready.
what we'll do it. Is when it'll come out. Is when you
Yeah.
get to play it. And I think because the games are so great, people are just like, yeah, okay, great. Like we can't wait to play it. So that's why I think it is such an event, because it's like they're just like, no, we make amazing games and we're gonna do it our way, and I think people respect that.
They don't take shit from the community that
Hell
normally
no.
So normally you get your developers like, oh, I'm sorry, well, the game will come out soon. Like, don't worry, don't. No, it's like you sit there and you wait. Like we'll tell you when it's ready.
You won't get a broken game.
Yeah.
From Rockstar.
Oh, bless.
A little bit broken. Guys, I don't have to thank you for joining me. It's your job to be here, of course. But thank all of you for joining us this Tuesday evening. Of course,
Quick shout out.
really the biggest event of the week is the AFL Grand Final, and I'll be down there at section M57. If you like the show, come and buy me a beer. I mean, that's fine. I'll take that. Who's your pick, Bo?
Definitely that team.
Milky?
Go the Crows.
He'll shank me if I don't say the gross.
That's right.
Yeah. So also, before we go, a quick shout out to Australian game developer Opaque Space, who have been selected to partner with Boeing on the Australian space program. So
That is pretty freaking awesome. We're going to talk about it, but we might save that for another day, Bo, because I have to go home and watch replays of the 1997-98 back-to-back grand finals that Adelaide Crows won against St Kilda Saints and North Melbourne Football Club. Thank you for joining us. Sorry that I misled you about potential free tickets. You can still hit me up. I might have two available. Thanks for watching, guys.
thanks.
I want McNuggets.